Hello again, everybody. This is John and Glenn with BestPriceNutrition.com. Today we're going to review the BSN Hyper FX. It's a pre-workout supplement. It's 30 servings, comes in fruit punch and blue raspberry. This is BSN's sort of answer to the more concentrated pre-workouts, smaller serving size. If everyone familiar with the industry knows BSN originally came out with It'll Explode and now a 2.0 version, which has a larger serving size and some different ingredients. So this was kind of their attempt to get into that market because that's kind of become the leaders within the pre-workout supplement market. And we've talked about pre-workouts in previous videos, and a lot of them are geared toward increasing nitric oxide levels. To date, there's been no human trials to show that nitric oxide levels can be increased significantly by any of the ingredients actually used. Much of the pump that people feel is actually from working out hard, training hard, and the stimulant effect, which gives you that really good feeling, gets you going for your workout, which is totally fine. And that's how we advise you to judge supplements that are saying they're going to give you a pump and this and that. You're the one inducing the pump by training hard due to the lack of evidence of the nitric oxide levels actually being increased. So without further ado, Glenn, let's go into the ingredients and hyper effects, because this is not a pump product. That's not actually what they're going
that's
after.
What I was going to say. It looks like they went more after the energy boosting and endurance than a true pump product. So first ingredient, it's a 9.6 gram proprietary blend. First set of ingredients is their myogenic Endura infusion. Beta-alanine is the first ingredient. If you've seen our videos before on beta-alanine, we love the ingredient. It's been studied in humans to work. It basically buffers acid in the muscles. When you work out, your body creates a lot of lactic acid, and there's some acid that dissociates from that lactic acid, and it buffers those. When you're working out, you get that burn, and you can't go any further. It'll help to buffer that so that you can possibly get 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 more reps. And that's not just within that set, it's also throughout the whole workout. So your last exercise you're doing, if you're really worn down and you've got that burn, it may help you get through that.
That acid, like I said, is one of the rate limiting factors in ATP resynthesis. So in anaerobic metabolism, you've got to make sure anything you can do to keep ATP fresh and in the cells ready to go, because you need that quick, fast energy. The next ingredient, Glenn, betaine. Betaine's typically in supplements that have glycosamine, because glycosamine tends to take methyl groups away from the body, which can increase homocysteine levels. Homocysteine is just a marker used for cardiovascular health. It's been associated, the elevated levels, with cardiovascular disease. So that's usually why it's in a product. I'm not sure why it's in here. And I know it's an antioxidant too. That would be my best guess.
Yeah, I think that there's some people saying it might help with endurance. There's really no human studies
it's
done.
More anecdotal, but
more anecdotal. So I would say more so because of maybe the stress you're putting in your body from working out. The betaine might help, as a source of antioxidants.
And next is sodium bicarbonate.
Yeah, and that's in a lot of their pre-workout formulas. You'll notice that It'll Explode used to say do not shake because they have the sodium bicarbonate. Maybe the lid would pop off.
Well, maybe they wanted you to think it was an explode.
Yeah.
Shake up and explode. Just kidding.
So it's inside here, so when you drink it, you're going to notice it'll fizz up a little bit. They could be putting it in there for that reason.
That's probably why.
I'm
sure.
thinking.
And plus, the bicarb tends to increase peristalsis. That's the finger-like projections in your GI tract. That's why sometimes when you have an upset stomach or gas, they tell you to take Alka-Seltzer, drink 7-Up, because that can kind of speed things going through your body, kind of get things moving. So that may be it too, but who knows? Sometimes it's just something to set yourself different. It's certainly, at worst, it's benign. It's not going to have any effect one way or the other in the effectiveness of the product.
And then
Next
you've got
couple ingredients.
citric acid, malic acid. These are 2 parts of the Krebs cycle. Probably there for resynthesis of ATP, I'm imagining, or maybe to increase possibly. And you've got taurine, which is a popular amino acid in a lot of pre-workout or energy supplements. Can help slightly with some endurance. You're not going to get a big boost of energy from it, but anything I've seen has shown endurance benefits. And then last ingredient is the peak ATP, or the adenosine 5-triphosphate disodium.
It's actual ATP, which has never been demonstrated to be effective in humans in terms of just ingesting ATP. So companies continue to use it.
Yeah.
Not sure why.
I mean, they might have been better served to use maybe a creatine or something like that.
Sure.
That's been proven to work.
At the smaller dose, I think they'd probably end up underdosing it, so maybe that's why they left it out. So the next set of ingredients, now this is what kind of sets this product apart from some of the other pre-workouts. There's one other by Applied Nutraceuticals, Lit Up. They're also using D-aspartic acid. And D-aspartic acid got a lot of coverage because there was one study on humans that showed it increased testosterone 42% was it after 12 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Testosterone 42% and luteinizing hormone 33%. The study was done for 12 days. It was done by an Italian pharmaceutical company. The real issue with the study is A, it was very short in duration. B, it's only one study. And then also they felt the need to inhibit deaspartate oxidase, which was something that breaks down deaspartic acid. None of the companies that are using deaspartic acid right now are blocking that. So I tend to think the Italian company that actually, as a result, made a drug because of this study are blocking that for some reason. We're not sure. The bottom line is it's promising. We just have a lot more questions. We'd like to see a longer-term study on it to say, hey, we could say definitively this works. But it is somewhat promising because there is at least one human study on it. Hopefully more come out to demonstrate the effects. So
yeah, and with a supplement like this that you're probably not taking every day, because it is a pre-workout formula unless you're going to take it, work out 7 days a week. There's really no telling how effective it is because that study was done in a 12-day straight period, not without days off in between.
And plus, more research tends to help with what we know in effective doses. One study kind of we haven't seen different dosage protocols and stuff compared and contrasted. So that's another thing too. Always larger sample size better, as most of you probably already know that. So
definitely has some promise.
So we can run through some of these next ingredients.
Magnesium oxide, calcium D-glucarate. I know specifically with the calcium D-glucarate, I think they're hitting at there's some animal studies showing it might remove toxins and possibly estrogen from the body.
Carcinogens, I think, is specifically the idea. The problem is there's no human trials on it to demonstrate that. These are all potential effects because it's naturally occurring in mammals and tends to have that effect in the body when it's endogenous. It's produced within the body. The question is, does taking extra do that? So currently, to date, there's no human trials, so that's more theory than anything. So that's probably why it's in here. But we can't be sure.
Yeah, and then you've got red pepper, black pepper, which is a source for bioperin or bioperin, however you say it. And
tends to increase absorption, I think, of other nutrients is the idea. And then what's that last? Cholecalciferol, which is vitamin D3, which is a very, very good ingredient. It's not a costly ingredient. There's only 500 IUs in here. Typically you're looking for 2,000, 5,000 IUs, and where you live in the country makes a difference because the amount of sunlight exposure you get. Ethnicity makes a difference in how efficient you are at producing vitamin D. Yeah, usually the lighter skinned or where your ancestors are from further north, you're actually more efficient at producing vitamin D because you're from an area in the world where less sunlight. So you may only see 10 minutes of sunlight a day, so your body has to be very efficient at producing it. Whereas if you're from closer to the equator, the equatorial countries, you're in the sun all the time, so your body doesn't have to be quite as efficient at producing vitamin D. So kind of a lot of research actually has come out on the benefits of vitamin D. And vitamin D is actually more of a hormone than it is a vitamin. If you wear sunblock, it's about 95% of it is inhibited in terms of production.
And then if you're out in the sun for a long period of time, you get out and you shower right away, you're washing all that away.
Yeah, that's actually a part of it too. So with vitamin D, it is definitely something that we recommend supplementing. It's cheap. Hey, 500 IU is better than nothing, so it's a nice addition into here. But that's something you may want to look at, just separate data into your supplement regimen, as little as 2,000 IU. Cool thing about vitamin D is if you miss a day or anything, it doesn't matter. It's a fat-soluble vitamin. Some people pop it all at once, or get shots of it. So, okay.
Yeah, and then let's see, they have their Neural Power Composite, choline bitartrate, caffeine, bitter orange, niacin, huperzine A, and vinpocetine. It does say there is 270 milligrams of caffeine per scoop, so it's a pretty hefty dose.
Yeah, that's a big dose, so if you're not used to caffeine.
Yeah, I would definitely start with one scoop to assess your tolerance to it. And then
real quick, before we move on with the stims, because we always get the questions, is when we talk about these, typically we'll recommend taking. It's going to be hard with this one, though, because I think with the deaspartic acid and stuff, they want you to take it throughout the day. So if you take it, maybe take it for about 30, 45 days straight, and then give yourself a break. But most of the time with stimulants, we'll say, hey, if you want to stay on this stuff, that's fine. Try and use it maybe 2 to 4 times a week at the most. That way you slow your body from building up tolerance to stimulants, because there's a little bit down regulation that goes on there. So an example would be if you started drinking 1 cup of coffee, you get a super buzz. A month later, all right, not quite the same buzz, so you need a cup and a half and so on and so forth. That's just down regulation, your body building up a tolerance to it. So to stay sensitive to it, just kind of keep your body guessing, break up the use of it. If you feel yourself getting headaches on those days you don't take in caffeine from withdrawal, you can use just a smaller dose, maybe just have maybe a glass of green tea or something like that, but that's just to cover that real quick.
Especially with there being 270
That's
milligrams of caffeine in one serving. If you get to where you can handle it, you're not getting much of a feeling anymore. Well, your next step is what, a half scoop or another scoop, and you're looking at in the range of 400 to 500 milligrams of caffeine in one sitting. That's a pretty hefty dose.
Sure.
So definitely.
So they've accomplished what they wanted to in terms of competing with the others in terms of really concentrated stimulant type product with that much caffeine. You mentioned choline. Choline's thought to have some, cardiac relaxing effects. It's been shown to be effective in people with Alzheimer's in terms of neuroprotection and kind of slowing the progression of it. Biggest problem with some of these ingredients is that they need to be studied in healthy individuals. It seems to be with a lot of these, they tend to help people who have certain disorders or tend to have problems kind of get your body back to homeostasis. So question is, do they help you focus and things like that? Same with huperzine. It's a choline esterase inhibitor.
It inhibits the enzyme that breaks down choline in the body, so
increased neurotransmitters in the brain would be ideal. And there's some anecdotal evidence, some preliminary, I should say, that shows that it helps with focus and things like that. But again, we'd like to see it work, some more trials with it in healthy humans. Again, there's some anecdotal. People say to take it and they notice X, Y, and Z. So it's a little harder to measure those things. I'm focused more. Okay, well, based on what? So there'd have to be some objective criteria to compare that to. So that's not always the easiest thing to study. So that's understandable. Same with vinpocetine. Yeah,
vinpocetine, it increases blood flow in the brain. Again, another one that's been tested in individuals who have something, neurodegenerative diseases.
Yeah, some neuropathy and things like that. So, but I mean, it's a nice attempt because I think some companies have had success with putting some of these nootropics in products, and people, like I said, anecdotally have had those effects. And these are kind of an area, same with stimulants, where we're likely to relax the standard and say, look, this is where personal experience criteria can come into play. Did you feel it? Because those are things that you're going to feel pretty quick, and using that judgment, you're a little less susceptible to the linear thinking placebo effect that we as humans tend to do. Hey, I took this, I had a great workout. Well, it must have been because of that. That
could have just been you had a great workout.
Yeah, and so we don't know, but with stims and stuff, we're a little more open to that kind of criteria. So.
Yeah, and you'll see out of the ingredients we listed, we didn't mention the geranium root or the 1,3-dimethylamylamine. So they left that out. So they wanted to put some things in here to possibly mimic the effects of that, the mental focus, the energy, the drive. So that's where these nootropics come in at the end.
And also, from what we understand, there is an efficacious dose of beta-alanine. It isn't a proprietary blend, but we've been assured, as much as we can. You heard it. So
I had found out from our rep that it said there's about 2 grams of beta-alanine per scoop, which is good.
Yeah, that's what we consider efficacious. You want to get anywhere from 2 to 4 grams per day. It's going to vary a little bit by body weight, but that's for the most part it. So yeah, I think we covered everything in the product. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section. We're happy to answer them. Thank you for watching, and also you can hit us up on Facebook at facebook.com/BestPriceNutrition. Also, if you like the video, there's a little thumbs up underneath. We appreciate the ratings, and thanks again for watching.
Thank you.